Hey class, welcome back. Hopefully you had a great weekend. Today we're going to talk about the factors of production. So first thing I'd like you to do is on the side of your notes, I'd like you to try to make a list of how this product, a box of Kellogg's Corn Flakes, made it to the table in your house. So list from the farmer to the grocer. So take a few minutes, pause this video, and complete that list. Okay, so hopefully you took a minute or two and you paused the video to try to create a list from the farmer to the grocer. It starts from the farmer. He's got to pick the corn up from the ground. He's got to be able to put it in trucks, and he's got to take it to a warehouse and then use machinery equipment to break down the products into actual cereal. They got to box it, and they got to put shipping labels and then send it to the grocery stores where they got to stock the shelves. They got to put price labels on it. So there's a lot of factors that go into a specific product. And we're going to look into these different factors right now. If you remember scarcity, it's where we try to fulfill our unlimited wants using limited resources, and we have to make choices. Those limited resources are the factors of production. So what are the factors of production? They're all the resources that are used to produce products, goods, and services. Remember, the study of economics is how people use their limited resources to fulfill their unlimited wants. When you think about the part of the definition of the factors of production that is in the definition of economics, the key word is resources. So now what we're going to do is we're going to break down these four factors of production, which are land, labor, capital, and entrepreneurship. First, to kind of introduce it, I'm going to show you a quick video that helps introduce these four factors.
Factors of production is an economic term describing the general inputs used to produce goods and services to make a profit. Under the classical view of economics, the factors of production consist of land, labor, capital, and entrepreneurship. Land refers to the land itself as well as the raw materials that come from the land. This includes timber, coal, precious minerals such as gold and water. It can also mean the physical area on which a factory sits. Labor refers to the workers who answer the phones, lift the pallets, drive the trucks, push the paperwork, and do all things physical and intellectual to keep a business running. Capital refers to the buildings, machines, and tools used in the process of production. Capital is anything from a fleet of delivery trucks, to a factory building, to a printing press, or a computer. Intellectual capital is defined as the technological expertise a business acquires over time, its trade secrets, and unique business processes. There is also social capital, the ability to operate because society has agreed to a system of order, conduct, and law. These elements facilitate an economic environment that allows the business to operate. Finally, entrepreneurship is the factor of production that ties the other three together. The entrepreneur provides innovation and creativity in the use of the other factors, which helps create a profitable business. For simplicity and analytic purposes, economists and analysts usually focus attention on two main factors: capital and labor. The relationship of both these factors and a company's output is referred to as the production function.
Okay, so hopefully that gives you a quick introduction to the four factors. Now let's dive into each of them. First off, we have land, which are natural resources that exist without human intervention. That's the key word, is without human intervention. Soil, water, fish, animals, trees, mineral deposits are all examples, as well as coal, of land. So when we think of an uncut diamond, we think of that as land. But when we think of a diamond cutter, someone that labors into creating the shape of a diamond, like for jewelry, that's labor, because they're actually using machinery and using tools. They're physically differentiating it. A machine is known as capital, which is used to help shape, and it's machinery equipment that's used to help shape the diamond. But anything that's without human intervention is considered land. Next one is labor, the work people do to produce a good or service. Examples are truck drivers, factory workers, farmers, teachers, etc. So the people that actually do the work. Capital, we talked about in Shark Tank. And when it comes to businesses and investment, we refer to capital. Sometimes people refer to it as money. In this situation, though, all right, capital with the factors of production does not correspond with money. The two forms of capital you need to remember are physical capital, which is the manufactured goods used to make other goods and produce other services. Machines, buildings, tools like a sewing machine, factory, warehouse, or even a hammer. That's the physical tools. That's physical capital. Human capital, however, is and also can be known as intellectual capital, the knowledge and skills workers gain on-the-job training, taking classes. Again, like we were saying, what's missing from the definition is money. The reason why is when it comes to the factors of production, let's use the car wash as an example. Does the $10 wash your car? And if you think about it, think about the land. The land is where the car wash sits on. Nothing else has been changed to the land, it's just we have a building laying on top of it. The labor is the people that maybe dry your car or the attendant takes your cash, or maybe the people that work on the capital, which is the tools, the machinery and equipment used to help scrape off and clean your car. But the $10 allowed you to claim those three services. However, the $10 specifically did not wash your car. It just allowed you to use those resources. Let's say you work a part-time job at $8 an hour. The real cost is the 1 1/4 hours of your labor. So that is the actual real cost. Entrepreneurship is the fourth factor of production. You see it all the time on Shark Tank. It's when individuals take risks to develop new products and start a business in order to make a profit. They decide how to use the factors of production to create a new good or service. So for example, what we just saw last week on Shark Tank, all right, the guys wanted to create more and stock their inventory because they felt like they were going to have greater sales. Bill Gates was an entrepreneur of Microsoft, and Milton Hershey, of course you know, was an entrepreneur when it came to chocolate. When we take these four factors of production and put them together, we get into the production stage, manufacturing or factory work, and it's used to produce goods and services which we use to distribute to consumers. So the question is, how can we make more goods and services? We can gain more or improve the factors of production, so get newer equipment or specialize. Productive input in the tasks that they do best, which can be related to the division of labor. Henry Ford, if you remember from U.S. history, created the assembly line in which workers perform fewer tasks more frequently. And it actually specialized in the creating of cars, and we got more cars being produced. Or we can invest in human capital. So we learn, gain abilities, and get more motivation. We could go through training or other programs. Another question I have for you, though, is it possible for a country to produce more goods and services without having more land, labor, and capital? And the answer to that question is yes, but you have to have more technology. If you have more technology, then it's possible. And with today's day and age, we have abundance of technology. Let's think about the effects. The amount of factors you or a nation have impact your wealth or a nation's wealth. This is how we get to the difference between a developed versus developing versus undeveloped country. So how we go from the United States to maybe say, Mexico, to all of a sudden a country, let's say somewhere in Central Africa. So we have developed, developing, and very undeveloped countries. All because of the factors of production. Next, here's what I'd like for you to do is you're going to log into Canvas and complete the following First thing you're going to do is part 1 is you'll see on Canvas these 10 different questions or terms. You're going to identify which factor of production is each of the following. The second part is a scenario. This is listed on Canvas, in which you are going to analyze a scenario and analyze this hypothetical question. What would you do if this was your business? Part 3, and the final part, is you have one of 3 videos you have to watch. You can watch how cereal is made, how peanut butter is made, or how hot dogs are made. And what you have to do with these 3 is you have to write a reflective paragraph explaining and articulate how the 4 factors of production are involved. You need to write this in the form of a paragraph. And make sure you submit all 3 parts to me on Canvas. Thank you all. Hopefully you learned something, and hope you have a great day, and I will see you all tomorrow.